It is now my pleasure to invite to the podium our honored guest, Dr. Bill Polian, to deliver the commencement address.
Father Marr, members of the board, trustees, honored guests, reverend clergy, ladies and gentlemen, and most of all, the class of 2017. I am honored to be with you today, and I'm thrilled to be back in Western New York, the Miami of the North. Come to think of it, Miami doesn't have the gorge, or the escarpment, or the falls. Maybe they ought to call themselves the Niagara frontier of the South. Seeing all the clergy here today reminded me of playing the Dolphins back in our golden years. Most of the graduates won't remember that we lost 20 straight to them. Coach Shula was at their helm, and they had our number. And what's worse, every time Coach Shula came here, he'd have priests and nuns, and he had more Catholics than the Pope, it seemed like, with him. And I thought we were getting short shrift. But then, of course, the worm turned, and we were able to reach the heights and go through what people have now called the golden years. And I've come to believe, even though God doesn't care very much about football games, I really do think he's a Bills fan. Otherwise, why would he have tested our faith for these last 17 years? Graduates, I'd like to ask you at this moment to stand and salute your parents, grandparents, and loved ones who've done so much to have you reach this day. Please stand and give them a hand. Thank you. My father was an Irish immigrant who came here at 16 years of age, went to work as an underground electrician for the Con Edison Company in New York, worked his way up to being a bookkeeper, raised 3 children, sent them to college, and his most prized experience, like most immigrants, was his service in World War II in the United States Army Air Corps. He was fiercely proud of this country. He was also schooled in parenting largely by his drill instructor in the Army Air Corps. And so he was straightforward, to the point, and there was very little empathy in his delivery. And I, as the oldest son, couldn't do very many things right, and in truth, I couldn't. And one day, I fouled up as usual, and he said to me, "Bill, some people are stupid, but you abuse the privilege." Sadly, he was right. And so I learned at a rather old age that it was really important, if I was going to succeed in life, to learn from people who were smarter than I. And so today, I would like to share with you some lessons I learned with some people whose names I think you'll recognize, but who, more important, were very, very instrumental in teaching me lessons that helped me navigate through life. Paul Tagliabue, 20 years the commissioner of the National Football League, now the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Georgetown University, one of the finest, most moral, and smartest men I've ever met. He said, and this has particular relevance to the business graduates, leave a little on the table for the other guy. You have to do business with him again. The world is not a zero-sum game. Keep that in mind. Marv Levy, my beloved mentor and friend, he's the reason that I'm standing here today. He said, among many other things, expect adversity, expect more to conquer it. Adversity will come. It will come in your family. It will come in your professional life. It will come in your personal life. There are times when you'll feel your heart is breaking and you can't go on. But you must. You must conquer. You must put one foot in front of the other, get up in the morning, and keep on marching. And you'll find if you do, and if you have that mindset, that as the song says, the sun will come out tomorrow, and things will be better. This too shall pass if you allow it to. And how you deal with adversity will mark the course of your life. Marv also said, adversity is an opportunity for heroism. And no one is more obvious for that saying than Jim Kelly, a guy who's a good friend and a hero to all in Western New York for his exploits on the field. But his exploits off the field are more important. After a stellar career, he finally had a son, one that was born with a terrible disease, Krabbe's disease, which caused him to die at age 8. He did see his dad elected and inducted into the Hall of Fame, but it was a short and heartbreaking life for the Kelly family. And then Jim, in turn, contracted cancer. The Bills are a very close family. That team remains very close. And for those of us who flocked to his bedside to offer support, I can tell you, we were frightened. It didn't look like he was going to make it. But Kelly rallied, and he came back. And he came back in a big way. He believed and lived Marv's admonition. He made his adversity work for others. Now he raises funds for cancer. He raises funds through Hunter's Hope charity to help people less fortunate than him. Tony Dungy, my esteemed colleague in Indianapolis, America's coach. He told our players that the most important rule is the golden rule. Treat people as you would wish to be treated. Do not engage in discrimination. Do not engage in bullying. Be tolerant. Welcome diversity. And you will contribute to a better workplace and a better world. I read a book by David McCullough, the great historian, called The American Spirit. And in it, there were some uplifting passages which I'd like to share with you. The first is from George Washington, the founder of our country. He said, "Perseverance and spirit have done wonders through every age." If you recognize nothing else as you go through life, recognize that perseverance will take you a long, long way. There'll be a lot of mountains to climb. There'll be a lot of losses. There'll be a lot of downtimes. But if you power through and stay true to your values, you'll succeed in the long run. Jacqueline Kennedy, wife of President John F. Kennedy. She was the Michelle Obama of her age, respected and revered even outside politics. She said, "If you don't raise your children well, nothing else you do in life matters very much. Your children will not volunteer to be born. You will bring them into the world, and you have responsibility for them to feed them, to clothe them, to educate them, and most of all, to nurture them for all of your life." And by the way, for the parents here who think you got a raise today, it doesn't happen. They remain on the payroll forever. And as the father of 4 and the grandfather of 8, I can tell you that's God's gift to the aged, to see you do well and to love our grandchildren. John F. Kennedy was the inspiration for my age, for my generation. And by the way, he was the inspiration for the cell phones and the iPads and all of the other gadgets that you use. They came directly from the work of the space program that he initiated in 1962. He said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." He was attempting to rally the citizens of his time to a cause larger than themselves. That cause echoes today. You need to dedicate some part of your life, professional, personal, familial, to a cause other than yourself. Engage in government service if you so choose, as will the wonderful people who will be commissioned here today. Engage in civic activity. Engage in volunteerism. Most of all, engage in charity. That's entirely consistent with the value of service espoused by St. Vincent de Paul and Niagara University. Do all you can to make your community and your country a better place to live. JFK also said, "The problems of the world cannot possibly be solved by skeptics or cynics. We need men," and he would have said today, and women, "who can dream of things that never were and ask why not." Ask why not. Dream those dreams. Let your reach exceed your grasp. If you will, you will help make a better world for those who follow you. And after all, isn't that what life is all about? As you begin your journey, I congratulate you on your marvelous achievement. I wish you good luck and Godspeed, and may all your dreams come true. Thank you.